Well, welcome back to Game on Hay. We have two games today, just to remind you, and the second game to which we will now turn our attention fully is between two unbeaten teams, Pakistan and Afghanistan. Neighbours, of course, geographically, but today it will be a contest to witness, behold and enjoy. So let's just talk to Aaqib, to Viv, to Sana about the prospects of this game. Both teams unbeaten so far. That will definitely change today. Someone has to lose.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, look, Afghan team is a very dangerous one because they have three world-class spinners. Mujib at the top. Somebody has to pick him from the hand, otherwise it's too late with his variation and the pace. And Rashid Khan, if you look around the leagues, he's the darling of the teams in the leagues. He's the number one valuable, the most valuable player in any league. We had him this year and we loved him. True professional, know what he's doing. He can, bowling is at the top, he can bat, brilliant in the field, and as teammate, he is always there to help, support. But the worrying factor, they have three outstanding spinners, but they lack in pace. And Pakistan can easily make it, 8 overs of the seamers should go 10 runs and over, you got what? 8 overs, 80, and then make the 80 out of 12. So you got 160, and the bowling which Pakistan has, like Shaheen, Imad at the top. Imad would be very dangerous for the Afghani batting because I have witnessed, I have experience, because when I was with the UAE, we used to play 3, sometimes 4 left-arm slow spinners, because that's they don't know how to negotiate. Especially Shehzad, Imad Wasim would be a big threat to Shehzad and another as well. So I think you got Shaheen, Imad, Hassan Ali, Haris, Shadab, Hafiz, enough options to expose, not organized, talented, but not experienced enough batting line of Afghan.
Okay, well, let's come back to these squads in a minute. First of all, let's just check on the points table because, as I said, they are both unbeaten. Pakistan have played the 2 games, but they've beaten 2 of the top teams. That's what's really important about that 4 points there. They've beaten India first, of course, dramatically and successfully, and New Zealand. Afghanistan, that net run rate looks dramatic in its own way, but that's because they beat Scotland by an absolute distance. So they have some tough games coming up, of course, starting with today, Sana.
Yeah, I think both the teams have been quite impressive. With Afghanistan, of course, they were playing a weak team, but they made sure that everyone can see the difference between the two teams. So all points to them. And Pakistan, I think it's a dream start for them, beating India with 10 wickets in hand. I mean, that has not happened before. And Pakistan has not done that before. So it's a dream start for Pakistan. And what I really like about this Pakistan team is that they are very determined. They are not going high up in the air. They are grounded, and all their interviews, the way they are talking to the media, it's very mature. And I think that's something, a very positive sign, because they have the skill, as we talked about in so many games, that they have an off spinner, they've got a leg spinner, left arm spinner, good pace attack, good batting, all kinds of batters in that lineup. And the only thing now that can hamper their progress can be, God forbid, an injury or something going wrong with their head. So.
I mean, Viv, in terms of their approach, Pakistan, I mean, when you're on top like this and in such good form, you have to be ruthless. You have to back yourself. Obviously, they'll be full of confidence, but you have to be ruthless. Now, I'm just thinking back to your era, your teams, West Indies through the entire decade of the 80s. That was by definition ruthless.
Yes, whenever you got your opponents down, you got to keep them down. And you would have heard before that Pakistan, they're in good nick. They're on top of their game. The only problem that can be created today is taking Afghanistan lightly. When you would have performed that well so far, like Pakistan have done, it is quite positive on their behalf for them to come up with the same sort of enthusiasm, all the necessary things that would have helped to take down India, because I think that was top of the list to begin with. That's mission accomplished. Next match, they were pretty professional about they went about things. They would have lost some wickets trying to achieve that total.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, they came out well. But it's going to be a good game, in my opinion, today. Highly competitive. Why? Because both teams know each other so well. You know, and if I was going to be in the Pakistani camp, I'd be worried about this match because how well both teams know each other.
Yeah. I mean, there is that, but I mean, as we've said before, there are many, many reasons, many incentives for doing well. And this local rivalry, the geographic rivalry, and the fact that players know each other so well, and the fact that it's a World Cup, is surely enough for Pakistan to in no way be thinking about taking it lightly.
Yeah, because they realize, if you listen to the statements of Babar and others, I mean, everyone noticed how good spinners they have. And against good bowling, no one can take easily, isn't it? Think even easily. The quality of spinners they have, the three threats out of 5 bowlers, I think it's a great asking. So, but if you see Pakistani batting lineup, very mature. Babar is there from last 7 years. Rizwan is the one from last 2 years, the most successful T20 player. He's averaging 52. Even though from last 1.5, averaging like 80. Every time I see him, he's busy. He's staying low on these pitches. Why Pakistan is dominating? Because of the combination, but the conditions. If Pakistan playing in South Africa or England or Australia would have been different rating, but the situation, the combination with they have is really working here in UAE.
And what I think also is of great help to Pakistan, the 2 individuals, you know, who are getting on in age, Salim Malik and what's the other?
Mohammed Hafiz.
Mohammed
Shoaib,
Hafiz.
yeah.
Hafiz,
Yeah.
yeah.
Shoaib Malik and Hafiz.
Hafiz, these 2 individuals have been solid over the years, and it's great to know that you have such experience in your team.
Yeah, the
which
same
I think
thing,
would
yeah.
be
Well,
of great
let's
help.
put the squad up just to remind ourselves of the depth of the squad apart from anything else. I mean, I can't see any reason to change the personnel because that winning side is a winning side. You want to keep a winning side going at all costs, but there are options around should they be needed. But having said that, I mean, Sano, if you look at from the top of the order downwards, all those guys have got runs. I mean, the 10-wicket win didn't expose the middle order. The middle order had a look the other day. Asif Ali, for instance, got some runs at the end just to finish things off and justify his definition as something of a finisher. You've got the bowling we've talked about so often. There's no real need to change things, is there?
Yeah, I think what we also talked about previously, that what's really great about the Pakistan squad is they complement each other. So when there's Rizwan, Babar complements him. When there's Asif Ali, Shoaib Malik is there to complement and guide him. So I mean, the overall combination is great. And another thing that Pakistan, apart from the results that they've won against 2 of the top teams, what's also very impressive about this squad is they have got a very strong bench. So if you can bring in Haider Ali, you can bring in Mohammad Wasim Jr., they are all quality players. While when we see the teams who are struggling like Bangladesh or West Indies, it's difficult to find who they can bring in to make a change. So that also for me, for the Pakistan squad, apart from the 4 points that they've already got, going into the tournament, that's a very big plus also.
The only one who's been slightly off the pace, bit of a pun, is Hassan Ali.
Hassan Ali.
Who, I mean, I've seen him play in PSL. He's a very, 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 very fine cricketer. And I think it's possibly because he's compared to, Shaheen Shah Afridi, Haris Rauf.
And Mohammad Wasim Jr. is sitting outside, who can also bat and bowl and a brilliant fielder. But even while he's down, Hassan Ali, has still contributed really well in the field. Kane Williamson run out, that catch in the deep. So I mean, overall, because of his character, his spirit, he still contributes, even though he's not doing well with the ball. So I mean, for me, that is a very
1 or 2 matches, doesn't make you from good to bad or bad to ordinary. He's a very skillful bowler. The other day against India, he deceives punt but he still managed to hit him 2 sixes with
One
hand.
Yeah, yeah,
That indicates that he was beaten in the air.
yeah.
So I think Hassan is very skillful bowler, and I hope he'll come back in this tournament.
Well, no, but that's the point. I mean, that's absolutely the point. You know someone from the last few years. You know him from previous form. And you know if you want to have someone like that in your team, you back him and support him. Only if he's playing genuinely badly do you say, tap him on the shoulder and say, just have a little bit of a break. So, I mean, and unless you want to give someone a rest, sure, just purely to give someone else a go and sort of keep the squad interested.
I mean, look, this team, thank God, getting together, binding together, because it's been experiments going on from last 3 years, and thank God they find the right combination at the last,
Yeah.
just before.
And
The World
and
Cup.
is that
Arriving
is
in
that
UAE.
luck? So it just be honest. Is that luck, planning, or something else?
I think it's last minute planning.
Yeah.
There was, I mean, look, you have resources around you, and you're just playing here and there. I'm not trying to prove what, but this team, if you go back 3 years back, 12 of 15 was together, playing together, and that's important. Your team confidence is you, me. We are for working together. So if I'm comfortable, it's giving you a confidence as well. So your first indicator is that how good you are together. You are believing in each other ability, and that boosts the team confidence.
And those two guys that Viv was talking about, Hafiz and Shoaib Malik, they have been both around a long, long time. So you have experience, and by the look of it, they're not exactly feeling their age either. I mean, they seem to be scooting around in the field. Hafiz bowls his overs, couple of overs. Shoaib has that steadiness with the bat, as does Hafiz.
Yeah, I think it's exceptional, especially Shoaib Malik. Again, he can still cover the outfield. Hafiz is mostly inside the circle. He's using his power hitting. He's getting those overs. But when you see Shoaib Malik, he's running from mid-on to mid-on still, and he's covering that field. They are both good fielders as well. So I think with their experience, those kinds of head on the shoulder, I think Pakistan is lucky to have them, especially in the UAE conditions.
Yeah, right. Afghanistan. Unbeaten, they've played one game. They've beaten Scotland. So today's a big test for them. Local rivals. Now the squad here has, I think it's 7 of the 11 that played against Scotland, the Scotland league, have played in PSL. So I'm looking at, if I get the right piece of paper here, the right information. There are people like Zazai, Shazad, Gobaz, Zadran, Nabi, Rashid Khan, of course, and Mujib, who've all played in PSL. So this familiarity works both ways. They've had the experience of PSL. It means that everyone's seen each other. So Pakistan know their tricks. They'd have faced the tricks. Maybe they know what to do with it.
I mean, look, if you look at the batting lineup, Zazai, Shahzad, Gurbaz, then
Najibullah.
Zardan, the lefty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, look, most of the time they've been playing through the associate cricket, where you have like 2 good bowlers and 3 ordinary ones. But when you merge at the level where you're playing at stronger teams and international teams with the pace and the quality spin, that's actually the challenge for any associate country who merged recently.
Yeah.
So I think their batting will be a big test against Shaheen, Haris, Hassan, the quality bowling. I think it's going to be.
They've got some quality bowlers as well.
Yes,
can't forget
they
that.
have.
Yeah.
But I mean, look.
Well, I'm going to say the difference is, without being rude about Scotland, who've had a fantastic tournament and achieved a lot of things that they really wanted to achieve, but when they came up against Afghanistan the other day, figures, unbelievable figures almost. Mujib, 5 for 20. Rashid, who was held back because it was going so well early on, terrible figures of 4 for 9. I mean, that was an extraordinary day. I mean, you'd assume that won't happen today because of the difference in quality of the batting.
Because the reason is that why Pakistan is dominating because of the conditions. and Scotland playing in Sharjah. It's a tough call, isn't it?
Yeah.
If Afghanistan goes to Scotland and playing their home ground with Liverpool's team, and I mean they're really good at home. It's not only what you have, what qualities you have in your team. It's about the conditions as well.
Yeah.
The Pakistan is in ideal conditions, top of their game, good combination, everything going well for them, confidence, but don't forget they're playing their home ground, because from last 5 years, out of six editions, Pakistan played their 4 PSL editions in UAE, and 90% of their international cricket in these grounds. So that's their home.
You cannot afford to think that maybe because they would have done so well against Scotland, that Scotland batters may not be as hot as some of the other batters in world cricket. But let's not forget why some of these young individuals have been employed by franchises around the world.
Yeah,
And they because they are good.
they are good. Yeah.
And they have done it on all sorts of wicketing, not just maybe the slow wickets that you're going to get in Sharjah. But these guys, I've seen them bamboozle guys in the CPL, the PSL,
Big
and
Bash.
in Big Bash, right around the world. These guys are classy. So I do not think that because they would have done so well against Scotland, I think they can do well against anyone.
Well, they
They
can.
can. They can.
They can. I mean,
There's
that's
no
that's
doubt,
the danger of a
Yeah,
side
yeah.
like Afghanistan, because these are special talents we're talking about. If we just double check on the head-to-head with these two teams, it might give a little bit of context to the contest. I mean, Pakistan, www, it's already a good website, but it goes on to another www. Afghanistan have their own website, but there's a couple of L's there as well. I mean, does that mean anything much to us?
I think now we are in the tournament, it won't mean much. It's all about the passion, what kind of confidence they are carrying, and how thirsty they are for the win. Because, like we said, both these teams have got some quality players there, and whoever wants to win more is going to win. That's what I think. Because
I think even David said it. Even David said that what you see now, that's in the history books.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
What happens today?
It's always
Yeah.
about the day. Right, one of the intriguing, if it's a match-up, I'm not sure, one of the intriguing contests right at the start of the Afghanistan innings, whether they bat first or second, but right at the start, you have this powerhouse that is Zazai.
Oh,
Yeah, Zazai, who hits the ball, whether it's pace or spin, so easily, so quickly. But up against him,
Shaheen Afridi.
Shah Afridi.
Yeah, I think that would be a great contest to witness, and we have seen. I mean, all these players that you named, Zazai, even Nabi, their captain,
Yeah.
Rashid Khan, they were quite successful in the PSL, and they were facing Pakistani bowlers as well. So we cannot just think that they will have a tough time. But I mean, it's a great contest on both sides, whether it's Shaheen versus Zazai, Imad versus Shehzad, or on the other hand, Babar versus Mujib. I mean, it is going to be a very exciting match.
Well, I love watching Zazai. I mean, first time I saw him was PSL early this year. And the way he hits the ball with the, those stuff that goes leg side is just a short arm,
Jab.
powerful jab, isn't it?
Quick hands.
That's what it needs. And when you're as strong as he is, as you can see also that he enjoys his game. He's having fun, the laughter, and he thoroughly enjoys his game. And when you can do that, it's something special for you to have as a batter.
I mean, look, we are all excited because of what? I mean, it's a new team to the international cricket, but the quality which they have, the spinners,
The export.
everyone wanted to see that, how the number one batsman in the world, Babar Azam, going to react against Mujib.
Yeah.
And the number one, Shaheen Afridi bowling to Zazai. So this is what excitement it should be in the teams.
Yeah. And
That's
one-
why.
Yeah, absolutely.
And just one thing, I mean, we were talking about how Pakistan is going to tackle their spin, have a tactical mindset that make the best of the pacers and then see off the spinners. I mean, they can do the same with Imad versus Shehzad, Zazai can take more strike, because as far as we have seen Imad, he doesn't like bowling to left-handers as much as he loves bowling to right-handers. So all these tactical things, I think that would be really good to see.
Just want to come back to one of those great motive forces, which is national pride, which obviously is here in Pakistan in abundance, especially with those 2 wins under the belt. But for Afghanistan, I mean, that story over the last decade is an extraordinary one. Of course, the politics of the region right at this precise moment mean they want to represent a country which has grown to love cricket, and they want to prove probably so much because of that.
Yeah, and I think how they perform now will have an impact of what happens to them, unfortunately, in international cricket, because the World Cup was too close for ICC or other bodies to take a decision of what their future would be. And if they perform well, not against Pakistan but other teams, but yeah, if they perform well, they will be making a case for themselves to let them play and let them do what they are good at doing, because I believe these cricketers have nothing to do with whatever is happening in their country. But we have seen so often in sports that whatever the government policies are, they are directly affecting the sports teams. So I think for that matter, I would be definitely rooting for them. Not for them only, their women's cricket also, they are also struggling. So I mean, their performances are going to be very important of where Afghanistan cricket will go from here.
Okay, so just last word. You're backing your home team there, of course, Pakistan.
Yeah.
Backing Pakistan.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, I take that for granted. Viv, are you backing Pakistan as you're a guest here, or are you looking for something interesting in a very even game and maybe just...
I'd love to see a good game, but I'm slightly worried about Afghanistan. They could be problematic for Pakistan, but I'm certainly in Pakistan's corner.
Well, that means... well, indeed, I'm sure. Okay, well, Aaqib, Viv, Sana, thank you very much indeed for all your thoughts in English on the build-up to 2 very important games here today. Sana will be back in 10-12 minutes or so to discuss probably the same issues, to be fair. She'll be asking that same question, not of herself, but of the Urdu guests.
I've noted all the questions you asked.
They're all down. You can borrow this piece of paper. So thank you for watching so far. Big day coming up. We'll take a break. We'll see you later.